Okay, so I did my EDP 201 project on Bloom's taxonomy. There are 6 parts of it. It was created by Benjamin Bloom and is defined as the educational objectives referred to forms of cognitive thinking. So it's the 6 different ways that we think cognitively, mostly in the classroom. And in the last few years, I think it was around 2006, some of Benjamin Bloom's old colleagues, Linda Anderson and David Kraftwohl, revised his original taxonomy. The first level is called knowledge, and it's basically just being able to recall information taught to you in class, like listing the 3 states of matter, and then when it was revised by Bloom's colleagues, it was called remembering. So remembering what you learned in class or what you learned in a specific subject or while reading. The next level is comprehension, so actually understanding what you remember from class, which is why the revised word was understanding. An example would be converting fractions to decimals and decimals to fractions. You can do it both ways because you comprehend the way it works. Or with the 3 states of matter, being able to explain each of them and maybe the molecules and how they're made up. That's comprehending the 3 states and what they do and how they are in the real world. The next level is application, which is being able to take the stuff that you've comprehended and understood and apply it into something in the real world. Like you did a bunch of research on insects in a book you checked out from the library, you were researching and doing all this, being able to write a paper about it would be application of the stuff that you learned, understood, and comprehended, and now it's called applying. The next level is called analysis, which is being able to, after applying this information, break it down. So in the paper, you could break down the different parts of a insect, from their legs to their abdomen, or making a Venn diagram, comparing, contrasting Saturn and Jupiter. It is now called analyzing. The next level is called synthesis, which is being able to put all these parts, new parts that you've learned into a whole, like using the scientific method to create an experiment. I did an experiment with Zinger. How many lemons does it take to light a light bulb? Being able to use synthesis to create the step-by-step process of how I was going to get to that final answer to my hypothesis, which would be now called creating. Next is evaluation, which is just being able to judge the value of the information, like assessing the value of the understanding of evolution. Do you really think it's important? Things like that. It's now called evaluating. And then to break it down even more, Bloom broke it down into the different types of knowledge. So there's factual knowledge, which is to be able to remember specific things, like specific facts about a subject. Then conceptual knowledge, which is being able to remember more about those specific parts, like the definition or what the purpose of them is or what they do. The next type is called procedural, which is being able to recall how they look, or based on the function, being able to figure out which one it was from the factual knowledge. And last, there's metacognitive knowledge, which is recalling the techniques to remember names, coming up with some sort of onomatopoeia to remember the words and things like that. There are 2 different types of domains based on the types of knowledge and the levels of Bloom's taxonomy. So there's affective and psychomotor. So affective is more the feelings and emotions that the students have towards the different subjects, and then the psychomotor is their abilities and skills that they can do based on the knowledge that they have. There's different types of affective domain. There's receiving, responding, valuing, organizing, and characterization by a value complex, and these are all just based on the emotions of the kids. And then there's psychomotor, which is their physical ability to imitate, manipulate, the precision, the articulation, and the naturalization of what they've learned.